Genesis. Oh my God. It's an exciting day. Yes, I want to also thank Reverend Gail Dillon for allowing me to do this. This is the first time up here in Carco Theater, and what a difference. Wow. It's exciting. It's jubilating. It's all that. And yes, I want to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day as well. Anybody and everybody. But, my mother passed away in 06, and I want to tell you, it's been an interesting trip. And one of the great things that Courtney has brought to my life is having parents. And I am so, so lucky and so, so grateful that they are here. I love you, Mom, and I love you, Dad, for being here. So happy Mother's Day, Mom. Yeah, and everybody else as well. So, as you can see, it's Willpower by Dan Millman and Enlightening, Everyday Enlightenment. It's the second chapter of 12. And, this one kind of rocked my world for willpower because it's easy to say. You start reading the book, and I highly recommend that you do that because we are going to be doing it for a couple months. And almost right out of the gate, he gives you this great little intro, and then he says, there's 3 words that you got to remember. It's just do it. And I thought, those are wonderful, great words to live by, but what happens to those people that haven't really understood that, haven't really been put to the point where they know that they have a will, that they know that they have power? I mean, we all want to believe that, right? We all need people to so that we can see things that happen to give us that inspiration, to know that there's times to do that. I'm a big sports guy, and there's probably 2 or 3 records that I hope are never broken. And that's that 17-0 perfect season by the Dolphins in 72. I never want that to be broken, but they showed the teams that they could do that, and the Patriots almost done it. Thank you, New York Giants, for beating them. And and the other one is, Pete Rose. I'm a big Pete Rose fan, and his hit record. But if it wasn't for Ty Cobb, Pete wouldn't have had something to look forward to. And then, by the way, I don't even think that that's his biggest accomplishment. I know, right? But he also was a 5-time All-Star at 5 different. Well, he was more than a 5-time All-Star. He was a 5-position All-Star. So that means that he was an All-Star at 5 different positions. I think that's the record that's never going to be broken. But that's exciting to sit there and do that and to think about that and have things to look forward to and have goals to do that and all that. But what do you do with the people that aren't even aware of their will, aren't even aware of the power that they have there? I mean, we're talking about the people that sometimes it's not easy to get up in the morning for people. Sometimes it's not easy for them to go through life, everyday single life. It's not easy because they've been told at a very young age that they're supposed to act a certain way or they're supposed to be a certain person. I mean, it's something that happens when we're very young. I mean, as soon as a mother finds out that she's pregnant and she tells people, what's the first thing that gets asked? Is it a boy or is it a girl? And then once she says it's a boy or a girl, then, if it's a boy, then it's blue, and if it's a girl, it's pink. So we're already setting up parameters that don't allow us to be who we are. I mean, the child's not going to know that, but already when the child comes out, we're already getting, if it's a girl, we're getting them Barbies. If it's a boy, we're getting, boys don't play with dolls, right? Boys play with action figures. G.I. Joe, right, the action figure. The girls that wear dresses, and the boys go outside and play with trucks. So we're already doing that. What do you do with the people that don't want to do that? I wonder if there's a boy that wants to play with dolls instead of an action figure, or wants to wear a dress, or if a girl who wants to dress up in jeans and go out and get dirty and be that. What do you do with that? Those people that want to do that, and we've already put them in there. They have a will. Sometimes it's not easy for people to get up in the morning. Some people, they just, their life is just not structured that way. So for somebody to get up, that could be the will, just to get out of bed, to be thankful, to be appreciative. And it's easy to say, just do it. Come on, Dan, come on, you just do it. But it's not always that way. Sometimes you really got to think about it. And for those people that go through that, my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you. When Gail first said, hey, can you do the second chapter of this? let's get you the book. And the first thing I thought was, whoa, wait a minute. My best friend when it comes to things like that is Kindle. Because Kindle, I can download it and Kindle can read it to me. If I need to read a book, then I have to really concentrate and I have to work on things. So I've been there. I've been in situations where people have said, he's too slow. Meaning not physically, although I'm probably slow that way as well. But he's not keeping up with his people in his own grade. We need to keep him in a small reading group. We need to do this and we need to do that. But that wasn't me. I just didn't have an ability to when I look at words, they're all over the place. So I need Kindle. Kindle is my best friend. So I can understand that sometimes, what do? I wanted to blend in with people. I wanted to be liked by people. So what I did was I gave up my will. And I gave up my power to do that. And that's not what Dan's talking about in here. One of the things that we got to do, what is the biggest thing that happens with that? The biggest thing is fear. We've all experienced fear, right? And when fear takes us over, it slows us down. It doesn't allow us to be who we are. It doesn't allow us to go out there. I always say, don't let others define who you are. Why? Because we gave up that will. We gave up our power to that. How do we curb that? How do we stop that? Well, the first thing that you got to do is you got to acknowledge it. We kind of talked about that in the first chapter. If you can acknowledge it, then you know it. But it's still, just do it. I mean, okay, I've acknowledged it. Now, my boss is upset with me, and what do? I've acknowledged the fact. Well, so you got to go even further back. You got to go even further back. You got to find out why you have that fear. You got to find out why that bothers you. And for some of us, we don't like to do that. It makes us very upset. Well, I don't want to touch that. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to be there. I don't want to express that. Why? Because it brings pain. It brings emotion. It brings all that fun stuff that we don't like to talk about. So why would we go back there? We go back there to heal it. We go back there to heal it. This is a great place to start. If you come here physically, which we certainly want you to do, but if you join us online, this is a place to start. This is a community of love. This is a community of acceptance. This is a community that allows us to be who we are and accept us who we are. And what does the community have? We have all of you, because you're the community. You're that heartbeat. You're the ones that do that. We have practitioners. We have a loving, kind, spiritual leader. An open heart. We have classes, which we will eventually be starting up soon. We have things online that we do all the time. We have the reading on Sunday night. We have Wednesday night services. That's what you do. You engage. You put yourself in a place where you have like-minded people. So this will and this power, they're not sucking it from you. They're giving it more to you. They're allowing you to be who you are. And have that. And be emotional with it. And be okay with it. Have a safe place. Be in a safe place. And like I said, some of those people have a tough time with that because they aren't always in a safe place. Because they have people telling them how they're supposed to be. They have people downgrading them, whatever, all that. And it's a tough thing. But they have the will. I have the will. Gail has the will. Everybody out here has the will. Everybody online has the will. And it's that power thing. It's not one of those power trips that you have to, that you're stronger than anybody else, or you've got to be a better hitter, or you have a 17-0 record. It's not that kind of power. The power that Dan Millman is talking about in the book, Everyday Enlightenment, is your emotional power. You are who you are. You're connected to God. Ernest Holmes, what's the biggest thing that he does? He wants to make sure that you have that connection, that you are aware of that connection, and then you can react to it. That you are loved. Anybody who told you weren't loved, that's a bunch of crap. Can I say that? I guess I did. So there we go. So that's a bunch of hooey. for anybody who ever told you that you won't amount to anything, that's a bunch of hooey. For anybody who told you that you can't read, that's a bunch of hooey. Anybody told you that you wear the wrong clothes, you have the wrong hairstyle, you do the wrong job, that's not you, that's a bunch of hooey. Your job, your part in that is to experience that, and if it doesn't work for you, change. Change. If it doesn't work for you, change. Acknowledge that. And look at that. Now, I'm not saying go out and say, hey, I don't like the job that I'm doing, so I'm going to give my 2-week notice tomorrow. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is evaluate that and see where that comes from and what listen to yourself. Ernest Holmes will tell you that. Listen to yourself, that connection to God that you have, that connection to Spirit. That's what we're at. That's where we're learning. That's how we express that. That's the will. Not the kind of will that you say, you're going to do this or. That's not the will. The will is inside of you. The willingness to move. Mentally and physically. That's the will. And the power of it is that you have complete choice. You have complete choice to do that and to experience that. And if something isn't going right, acknowledge it. Look at it. If you just don't feel inside, listen to yourself. Make a change. Michael Jackson song, make a change. Man in the mirror. When it comes to that, you're responsible for that. Because you're responsible for what you feel and what emotions you go through when people talk to you and words. Be conscious of your words. The 4 agreements, one of them, be impeccable with your word. Because words can hurt. Words are not nice sometimes. That's the downfall of it. But you have that will and you have that power. You have that power to brush that off. You have that power to understand that, is it constructive criticism or is it personal? Because if it's constructive criticism, I'm going to look at it and I'm going to evaluate it and I'm going to digest it and I'm going to see what I can do to correct it or whatever, smooth it out. But if it's personal, I'm not going to listen to it. I'm not going to listen to it. That's the power. That's the power that you have. And as we go through this book, everyday enlightenment. Think about that. Everyday enlightenment. There's something that we can learn every single day. There's something that we can get from it. There's something we can learn about ourselves. There's something we can learn about others. And we need people like me. We need people like Gail. We need people like you folks. Because if this community wasn't embracing love, and if it wasn't putting it out there as love, do you really think we could attract Ernest Holmes again? What we put out there, we get back. It's really easy. We put that out there, so we are a loving a bunch. We're a great bunch. We're bigger than the Brady Bunch. So the will and the power, that's all you. And I can't emphasize it enough because we've been robbed from it. People have taken from it. We've allowed people to take it from it. We've been told things that aren't true. Don't allow others to dictate who you are. I get a shirt that says that. I'm going to get some kind of copyright on that. Because it's very true. Acknowledge it. Know that you have it. And my heart goes out to those people who just aren't there yet, which is okay. Which is okay. Those people that feel abandoned, that's who we. Those people that don't have love around them. Those people who have hidden agendas. Those are the people. You have the will. The will to be strong. The will to know that you are safe. You have the right to be safe. You have that right. once you acknowledge it, you have the power to do something about it. Because the power isn't out there, right? You don't have to go looking for it. It's inside of you. And I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to look at things like that. I encourage you to allow yourself to put yourself in a vulnerable place to open up. Feel what is happening inside. If something is as simple as getting up, and I take that back because it might not be simple for some people. If it's as something as getting up in the morning and looking yourself in the mirror and saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. Do that. No matter what the reflection comes back at you, know that you're loved. Because it does start with you. And that's a good thing and a bad thing, right? Whatever good and bad is. That's a good and bad thing. So know that you have this will. You have that power. I know that sometimes it just doesn't seem that way. And I know that you're going, yeah, right, Bernie, I've tried that. Try it. Just do it. Like he says, just do it. And see what happens. See what happens. And your breaths will start to cycle that in. You might feel a little bit better about yourself, whatever better is. You might feel a little bit less heavy. Not physical heavy, but emotionally heavy. Because it's about making your life better quality for you. I can't do it for you. You've got to do it for yourself. And once you can do that, once you can feel safe, and once you can feel free to do that, and know that yourself is not judging you, life just opens up even more and more and more. More and more and more. Will. So I leave you with that. I leave you with all the energy that you need, all the excitement you need, all the abundance you need, all the courage you need, all the wisdom you need. I leave you with that. Because all that is your power. All that is your power. So let's pray. And holding that will, that power in our hands, nurturing it, and letting it open up to us, letting us feel that, letting us be aware of the fact that we are perfect, whole, and complete inside, just the way we are. That anything outside of ourselves is just a movie, just an illusion. And the real willpower and the real power of that will comes from within, knowing that that connection to God is always there, knowing that connection to Spirit is always there, knowing that the universe works for us, with us. I give great thanks for these moments right here and right now, knowing that each and every one of you embraces your willpower and sees it and hugs it and knows it, loves it, because it loves you and it knows you. I know that Spirit is such a blessed thing. So I bless each and every one of you, knowing that life is good today, right here, right now. With that, I just say, and so it is.
Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Look forward to seeing you next Sunday. And remember, you're more than your name. You're God-informed. Behave that way. Have a great week.